All right, Morning Jamaica again. Yesterday, the Caribbean Vulnerable Communities Coalition launched their Do You Dare campaign. Program coordinator of the coalition, Andre Jebison, and campaign coordinator, Sanya Sutherland, tells us how you can pitch in. CVC is here. Do you dare? Welcome to you both. How are you?
Thank you.
You good?
Yeah.
Good to see you, Jebby. It's been a while.
Nice seeing you.
All right, let's get right into Do You Dare campaign. What do we dare to do or not do? Tell us about the campaign.
All right, firstly, well, Sanya is a program coordinator
Did I say it incorrectly?
For CVC.
What did I say?
I'm working with the campaign, right?
Oh, you're working with the campaign?
I am the coordinator for the campaign.
Okay,
right?
my apologies.
Right.
It's on my paper and it was, okay, so coordinator of Do You Dare.
Program coordinator.
Program coordinator.
General. Yes.
All right, cool. All right, so tell us then, program coordinator, about Do You Dare.
Okay, so Do You Dare is an advocacy campaign focused on challenging different sectors of society to self-advocate and advocate around very specific issues as it relates to the HIV and human rights response. So the campaign really is focusing on catalyzing change, building champions for change, getting people involved in the response and understanding the needs of our HIV positive persons as well as persons who experience human rights violations.
What are we seeing in the country with HIV?
Well, we've been seeing that there is a plateau in general population prevalence, but we know that we have pockets of concentration among those that are most marginalized. And in terms of our marginalized groups, it's about access, availability, barriers to service. And so we need to think about how stigma and discrimination plays a really significant role in creating exclusion.
We have a 2020 plan. What is that?
Well, the 2020 plan is looking at how we can end the AIDS epidemic by 2020. And it is a global UNAIDS supported call to action for treatment goals. And so we're looking at 90% being tested, 90% being retained, and 90% being virally suppressed. And so when we're talking about knowing your HIV status, that's that 90%. How many of you are going out and knowing your HIV status? For those persons who are now positive, how many of them are being retained in care? And so we're looking at 90% adherence, not only to treatment, but to appointments, etc. And then the last 90 is viral suppression. How many of you are staying on your medication and have achieved viral suppression, which lowers, which improves our prevention response because it lowers the virus. Okay,
is medication free, Sanya?
Yes, it is.
It is.
So antiretroviral medication is free, and you know that NHF provides all the other medications for opportunistic infections.
All right. So, Andre, what do we need to do to join this campaign, to advocate, to educate?
All right, so the media itself has a role to play. So we are hoping that people like yourself would come on to the message and say, I dare you to not discriminate against people who are living with HIV. So we're engaging a number of people. We're engaging the government because they're the one who set policies, they're the one who set laws. We're trying to engage other CSOs, civil service organizations, because they also have a role. They have face-to-face contact, they have daily contact with some persons who have HIV. They have the influence over some people who can actually change the way we do things. We're trying to engage the wider public because what we want is a paradigm shift, because, you know, gone are the days when people look at HIV as something that is, people think if I hug you, you can
touch
get
you, you're gonna
exactly.
Get it,
We want that kind of mindset to go away. We want people to start embracing those among them who might be HIV positive, those who might be vulnerable to the disease, to the virus, because, I mean, that is what creates a barrier when the way people think, and if we can change the way people think, and so we want people who actually have influence, like yourself, politicians and so on, to actually come on board and dare people, dare the wider public, dare the wider Caribbean to say, listen, people with HIV are just normal people who can live a normal life as well.
Yes. I mean, I have a mentee who is HIV positive, and she's amazing. And I think we need to also look at the faces of people with HIV and see them to say, hey, here's somebody living this healthy life. Is this a part of the campaign? Because, I mean, not everybody wants to come out and tell their status because of the discrimination. So we have to reduce the stigma attached. And I hear what you're saying through these advocacy spaces. Do we have any champions coming out who have HIV who are willing to come and say, hey, this is what I'm going through, just to kind of put a human face to it?
Right, so as part of the campaign, we do have people, we have persons who are living with HIV who have come out and you know, they're appealing to other people to say, I mean, we're here. We're not any different than you are. We're Jamaicans, we're members of the Caribbean. So those are some of the videos that will be rolled out over a 4-month period on social media and in other spaces.
Very good, very good. Let's look at the role that the church and the bars can play in this Do You Dare, you know what I mean? Because we have so many churches, so many bars. How is the church responding to people with HIV and to a campaign like this? I mean, are they rejecting people in the church? Are they accepting? I'm sure you've looked at that.
So that's a
conversation to have?
Yes.
Okay.
So our faith-based organizations have been very supportive as it relates to HIV positive persons. They've been very involved in the treatment response to date, and they've been very involved in supporting persons who are already HIV positive. Our problem that we face in terms of the faith-based community is how are they supporting persons who are vulnerable to HIV. So how are they looking at the risk behaviors and how are they treating persons who experience this vulnerability and understanding it within the context of poverty and marginalization. So you know, persons who are most vulnerable to HIV would be usually on the fringes. So they may be in extreme poverty, they may be teenage mothers, they may be having sex for different reasons and have high-risk sexual behaviors for different reasons. And so in terms of how the church interacts with persons who are engaging in sexual activity that they may not find is in keeping with their ethics and moral code, that is where we need to be addressing the gaps in the faith-based response.
I think an important question to ask now is, I know it's about the Do You Dare campaign on a whole, and you know, you're protecting the vulnerable communities, but if you are vulnerable and you need a place to go to check your status, where do you go? Especially when you're afraid of stigma and everything else. What are we supposed to do if we feel we need to get tested? Is it free? A lot of people are asking this question. Is it free? Where am I go? How am I going to be supported? Tell us where in the agencies and the support system that's already set up.
There are many agencies, there are many civil society bodies. In addition, there's a National Family Planning Board who has the mobile testing units. Every now and then Talk of Youth gets involved, and so Talk of Youth also does provide testing inadvertently, and so you can call Jamaica AIDS Support for Life that has a clinic that runs 24/7. So even if you're tested positive, you can access services there. You can go to Comprehensive Health Center, which is downtown. There are many health centers that provide that HIV testing.
All right, people, so go and get tested. We have a plan by 2020. I'd like you both to end with a statement to our stakeholders, our health ministries, our legal services, our citizens of Jamaica. Final word.
All right, so it's really a dare to be bold, to do things differently than we are used to doing them, and do whether it be laws that would entrench discrimination in how we go about our daily lives, whether it's a health system. We want people to be more inclusive, where people can feel that they can enter without being stigmatized and the people won't know their business. So it's really a dare to do the very bold things that we need to do to end discrimination and stigma.
All right, Sanai, I think he said it all, but maybe you have one more thing?
I agree completely.
Remind us about that 90-90-90 thing.
Okay, so
90%?
90% on getting tested, 90% retained in care, and 90% viral suppressed.
All right.
Can you do a dare before we actually go?
Yes, let's go real quick. I gotta go. I dare you to protect people with HIV. I dare you to get tested. Let's stand together and protect each other. No more stigma and discrimination with people with HIV. HIV is not AIDS, and you can live a very long and healthy life if you know your status. Stand up, especially our most vulnerable young people, teenage young girls and boys. Wrap it up. Get tested. Support those in need. We are our brother's keeper and our sister's keeper. Program coordinator of the CBC, that's the Caribbean Vulnerable Communities Coalition, and supporter, media man, communicator of the Do You Dare campaign, Andre Jemison and Sanya Sutherland. Thank you so much for what you do with CBC. And as I said, to all my friends out there watching with HIV, you don't know. We support you, all right? We not judge you, we lift you, and we have a goal by 2020. I dare you to get involved, my people. Lots more to come.